Are you always saying yes when you really just want to say no? Do you find yourself prioritizing others' needs over your own happiness? It's time to break free from the cycle of people pleasing. As a recovering and sometimes relapsing people pleaser, this topic is close to my heart. Here are some reasons why we become people pleasers, some of the consequences, and some strategies to help you overcome it. Have you ever wondered what's at the root of the people pleasing habit? Sometimes we're just caring and kind and we want to do good for others. We love to see them happy. Or others have been a blessing and we want to bless them back. And when we do, it brings a feeling of immense joy and satisfaction. But more often than not, people pleasing comes from a feeling of low self-worth. We feel that we are somehow less worthy or deserving than others. We're really acting out of fear and a desire to earn someone's love. But that's not a genuine love because we are not being true to ourselves. We are afraid to say no, so we go all out to accommodate others while sacrificing our own needs and happiness. We leave ourselves undone. We allow others to take advantage of us. We don't voice our own needs. Maybe we take on extra work or we overcommit. It comes from a desire for approval or fear of rejection. We feel that others won't love us if we don't do what they want, and sometimes we feel ashamed if we have to disappoint others. If you're a spiritual or religious person, perhaps you were told that you needed to put others first and you took it to the extreme. You didn't realize that you needed to love others just as you loved yourself. For some of us, people pleasing is an adaptive survival response to trauma. It's known as phoning. If you experienced deep trauma or abuse in your life, you knew that you had to appease others to avoid triggering them. So it's a survival instinct you learned because you wanted to keep the peace or to avoid abandonment, neglect, or abuse. People pleasing may seem harmless, but as author and motivational speaker Gabrielle Bernstein reminds us, there's a fine line between helping others and being a people pleaser. And mistaking one for the other can be hugely detrimental. It can lead to frustration, resentment, anger, and even burnout. We're constantly putting others' needs before ours, and we begin to resent them for it. Have you had that experience? Sometimes others use it against us. They take advantage of our good nature. Other times, we're really misleading them. We're giving the impression that we are happy to be of service to them when in fact we are not. I wouldn't want others to do something for me if their heart wasn't in it. I want to know that they're happy to help me, and I don't want them to feel that they need to do something for me to win my approval. When we people please, we are not in touch with our authentic self, and it leads to a loss of identity. Constantly putting others' needs before your own can also take a toll on your physical, mental, and emotional health. I believe we have a responsibility to ourselves to look after our needs. So if others are looking after their needs, but we are putting their needs above ours, who's really looking out for us? Always remember that if you refuse, the other person will cope or find someone else to help them. To overcome people pleasing, we have to realize that we are not responsible for others' emotions and happiness. That's their responsibility. Work on your self-awareness. What's really important to you? What are your priorities? What do you want to spend your time on? Once you've decided what's important to you and you've given that to yourself, then you have lots left over to help others. You'll also have to set some limits and boundaries. If you've decided that Saturday is your day of rest or family day, and your colleague asks you to fill in for him, then you know that you can't do it. You don't owe anyone anything. If you mean no, say no. Establish clear boundaries to protect your time and your energy. Setting limits on your time may mean saying to your friend, I can only talk for 30 minutes today, or I'll only be going out once this week. You get to determine your schedule. Another technique is to buy yourself some time. If someone asks you to do something and you're not so sure, take some time to assess the situation. Decide if you're willing and able to assist. You may be a bit busy, but your good friend needs you, and so you decide to assist. But what if it's a colleague who never has time for you and who is a user? Then you need to set a boundary. It's not always easy to say no, so you can rehearse it. Practice with your loved ones. It takes work, but it's possible. Find a way that's comfortable to you. You can say no and still be kind. Make your self-care a priority and schedule time just for yourself. Take time to recharge and nurture yourself. If you're always leaving yourself undone and prioritizing others' needs, you're saying to yourself that your needs are not important. A good rule of thumb, as Paulo Coelho tells us, is when saying yes to others, make sure you're not saying no to yourself. Sometimes, to overcome people-pleasing, we have to heal the traumas of the past. It can be helpful to reassure yourself that the traumas of the past no longer exist. You are safe, and therefore the behavior is no longer useful. You may also need to do some inner child work or reparenting with the assistance of a therapist. When working on your people-pleasing, balance is important. It's all about finding that sweet spot. Sometimes I'm so good at setting boundaries that I become quite inflexible. So I'm working on my balance. To overcome people-pleasing and live an authentic life, we need to know ourselves, meet our own needs, and set boundaries and limits on our time and energy. Having a desire to please others is quite common, and it can be harmless in small amounts. The problem only arises when we have trouble saying no and we consistently put others' needs before our own. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, am I doing this out of empathy or love, or rather out of fear or obligation? Let your light shine today and let your personality blossom too. You don't have to be a people pleaser, just a people lover. Thank you for watching, and I hope the video was helpful. Share your key takeaway with us in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe. See you soon.